you receive an evacuation notice, heed that notice and evacuate immediately.
An historic event is unfolding in Spokane right now. Wildfires ripping through neighborhoods, forcing tens of thousands of families to flee. As of this morning, more than 600 buildings have been destroyed. Since Saturday, the fires have burned 8 square miles. So far, no injuries have been reported.
The 3 fires are collectively being called the Spokane Complex Fire. Take a look at this map showing these fires, the fire lines and the evacuation zones. On the left is the Old Trails Fire. It started around noon on Saturday and quickly exploded in size. It's now the largest of the 3, burning about 3,600 acres. To the north, the Autumn Lane Fire has grown to 3,300 acres, and to the east, the Fairview Fire has scorched just over 1,000 acres. This morning, help is coming from all over the world, with fire crews from more than a dozen states and Australia joining the response. Officials say 60,000 people within Spokane city limits have been evacuated so far. That includes patients at the U.S. Veterans Affairs Hospital. People who escaped called the flames devastating.
This is a nuclear bomb going off in our neighborhoods, and it's not like forest fires because this is condensed into where it's demographically a lot of people. So it's really tragic.
Yeah, sure is. Let's get to Christian Balderas, who is live in Spokane this morning tracking this devastation. Christian, all weekend we were just watching all these videos thinking you can't believe some of the images. What's the latest?
Yeah, Jake, it is just absolutely heartbreaking. This morning, we're waking up to hazy conditions in Spokane with ash now falling from the sky and the smell of smoke just getting stronger. We're in a gated neighborhood in North Spokane. This is a heavily forested, rural part of town with large properties. This area is under mandatory evacuation orders. There were firefighters standing right where I'm standing watching flames on that hillside there, but right now you can't even see the hillside because the smoke is just so thick. A fire crew passed us within the past 30 minutes, warning us of flames just down this residential street. Here's a video we captured earlier this morning that shows you the flames we were seeing on that hillside. There are 3 blazes, which collectively are being called, as you mentioned, the Spokane Complex Fire, which has burned nearly 8,000 acres and is 0% contained this morning. No deaths or injuries have been reported, but the damage has been widespread. Let's go ahead and show you video of some of the destruction. It is stunning and tragic to see. Over 600 structures have been damaged, and officials are calling this the most destructive fire in state history. Over 60,000 people have been evacuated, and last night there were expanded evacuation orders. Governor Bob Ferguson said he spoke to the president, who has expressed support. And back out here live, what is also striking to see out here in the neighborhood is that many of these homes have their sprinklers on, including this home right here. They put the sprinklers on the roof, spraying water on the home. That a protective measure against embers, but of course that can only do so much in the face of imminent danger if these flames get any closer to these homes. Again, this neighborhood is currently under mandatory evacuation orders as again, the flames are just a short distance away. In Spokane, I'm Christian Balderas, King 5 News.
They're hoping for good weather today there too. Christian, thank you. Families in Spokane, many left with nothing. Some say who've lost their homes, they may choose not to rebuild.
I don't think I'm going to rebuild here because I don't ever want to have to relive a fire coming up this hill again. And I've been in Spokane my entire 64 years because my little brother died in an accident when he was 6. And that's why I stayed close to my family. I think it's time for me to leave Spokane.
Thousands of families are on standby, too, waiting to see how far this fire spreads and whether they should also evacuate. One man we spoke with says his car is packed with things ready to go that can't be replaced.
You have this little period where you're going, what is really important? You know, you start getting baby pictures, records, and so forth, and then you start looking at clothes and stuff, say, how much do I need?
Fire officials tell us they can't get an exact number of how many structures have burned quite yet, but we know many are homes. They say it could take up to a week to get an exact number, but as we've reported, about 600 structures have been lost so far.
We're getting a closer look at the damage across Spokane. These images show some of the neighborhoods hit hardest by the fire. The Spokane Complex Wildfire is the most destructive in Washington state history when it comes to structures lost. The Carlton Complex fire in Okanogan County in 2014 destroyed 500 buildings, including homes. The Spokane fire has surpassed that number. Firefighters say the rapid growth was driven in part by extreme winds, with gusts reported between 35 and 45 miles per hour, pushing flames quickly into densely populated neighborhoods.
And the fires in Spokane are just one part of the story. There are a lot of fires burning in Washington state. Many have those level 3 go now orders. Meteorologist Leah Pizzetti is looking at some of these other fires. I'm seeing photos in Chelan, for example. That's pretty bad.
Right, Jake. And of course, it's important to put into perspective that it's not always the size of the fire that can lead to that impact. As we know in Spokane, it's much smaller, but the huge impact. But we do have 17 large fires burning in Washington right now. So let's walk you through all of those. So to put it into perspective, this is a big picture look right here. This is Spokane right here. You see how small those are, but look at these massive fires burning across other portions of the state. I do want to start with the Little Giant fire. Let's zoom in right here and you can see this one burning. So there's where the fire has burned. We have those evacuation orders that are in place there. This fire started more than 2 weeks ago, July 15th, due to lightning. Just shy of 40,000 acres burned there. No containment yet, and it did jump the Lake Chelan over the weekend. Now let's get to the Kaiser Canyon fire. This one is right over here, much larger, better containment, 136,000 acres, 38% contained, also lightning. So altogether, more than 250,000 acres burned in Washington state alone.
Yeah,
Jake?
Seeing a lot of smoke too, Leah, as you mentioned. We'll have live coverage, by the way, from Spokane all morning. You can stream live updates on the King 5 app on your phone or TV. We're expecting an update from the governor at 10:30 this morning. We'll carry that live as it happens.